Cold has a way of exposing weak ideas fast. Central heating fails, fuel runs out, power goes dark, and suddenly comfort becomes survival. Long before thermostats and electric blankets, people solved this problem with ruthless efficiency. They didn't heat rooms, they insulated bodies. And one old bed insulation layout worked so well, it kept people warm even in rooms that never saw a fire all winter. If you want more forgotten survival intelligence like this slipping back into modern life, hit subscribe now before this kind of knowledge disappears again. The secret starts with a mindset shift that feels almost offensive to modern thinking. Heating the air was considered wasteful. Air escapes. Walls leak. Heat vanishes. So the goal was simple: trap warmth where the body actually is. The bed wasn't furniture. It was equipment. Designed like a system, layered with intention, and built to fight cold all night long. The foundation mattered first. Cold rises from below faster than it steals heat from above. Old layouts never put a mattress directly on the floor. Even a few inches of separation made a measurable difference. Wooden frames, straw pallets, rope beds, anything that lifted the sleeper off cold stone or dirt. Beneath the mattress came insulating mass. Straw, hay, wool scraps, dried leaves, even old clothing. These materials didn't generate heat. They trapped it. That was the win. Mattresses themselves weren't thin foam slabs. They were thick, heavy, and packed. Straw mattresses get mocked today, but they worked because they held air without collapsing. Air is the real insulator. When straw compressed too much, it got replaced. Maintenance was part of the system. Wool-filled mattresses came later and performed even better, especially when layered. Then came the real genius: layering from below and above, not just piling blankets randomly. Sheets went first, not for comfort, but for moisture control. Sweat kills warmth faster than cold, you know? Wool blankets followed because wool keeps insulating even when damp. Quilts or thick covers came next, often doubled or tripled. The weight mattered. Heavy layers pressed air pockets closer to the body, reducing convective heat loss. But the layout didn't stop at the mattress. The bed itself became a micro-shelter. Canopies weren't decorative. They were thermal tools. Fabric hung around the bed trapped warm air like a tent. Some setups used heavy curtains. Others used wooden enclosures. The result was the same: a smaller volume of air to heat using body warmth alone. This is why people slept warm in rooms where water froze overnight. The bed held the heat. The room didn't matter. Head placement was another overlooked detail. Beds were positioned away from exterior walls whenever possible. Drafts kill heat fast. Even a small gap near a window could undo the entire setup. Old layouts blocked airflow deliberately. Chests, trunks, folded fabric, anything that stopped moving air from brushing the sleeper. Clothing mattered too, but not the way people assume. Sleeping naked wasn't the norm. Light wool garments were common. Not thick coats, just enough to add another insulating layer without trapping sweat. Nightcaps weren't fashion. They prevented heat loss from the head, which radiates warmth aggressively. Feet were treated like critical systems. Cold feet ruin sleep and drain body heat. Extra layers went at the foot of the bed. Sometimes separate foot sacks were used. Sometimes the mattress was thicker at the bottom. The idea was consistent: protect the extremities first. You know, one detail modern preppers often miss is airflow management inside the bedding. Completely sealing in heat can actually backfire if moisture builds up, creating its own set of problems. That's why, for so long, natural materials really dominated: wool, linen, straw. These materials, well, they breathe while still insulating. Synthetic materials just struggle here, which is why, honestly, a lot of modern sleep systems fail in real cold without some kind of external heat. This layout wasn't just theory, it was necessity. During World War II, with shortages, fuel rationing, and all those power cuts, families survived winters using this exact logic. No electricity, no fire burning through the night, just physics and, well, a lot of discipline. What makes this layout so powerful today is really its scalability. You don't need a medieval house or any kind of antique furniture. The principles transfer pretty cleanly. Elevate the bed. Insulate below before you add more on top. Use materials that trap air and manage moisture. Reduce the air volume around the sleeper. Block drafts aggressively. Treat the bed like a shelter, not just a mattress. This isn't about romanticizing hardship. It's about, well, respecting solutions that worked when failure wasn't an option. Modern heating encourages laziness in design. Old systems punished inefficiency immediately. That pressure, honestly, created smarter layouts. There's a reason people slept better in colder centuries than we assume. They weren't tougher. They were just, smarter about heat. For a survival-focused mindset, this really matters. You don't always control your environment. Power grids fail. Fuel prices spike. Emergencies don't ask permission. Knowing how to stay warm without external heat isn't just nostalgia. It's resilience. This bed insulation layout, also teaches a broader lesson. Comfort doesn't actually come from energy. It comes from control. Control of airflow. Control of moisture. Control of space. The smallest shelter, built correctly, truly beats the biggest room heated poorly. That's the kind of thinking, honestly, that history's survival code exists to bring back. Forgotten systems, proven logic, tools that still work when modern convenience disappears. If this opened your eyes, hey, share it with someone who still thinks warmth comes from a switch on the wall. And, subscribe to the channel so these lost survival codes keep finding their way back into the present, where they belong.